MacIntyre is just not able to come tonight, so she's not well. And so we're going to be picking up the slack for her and trading roles and trying to make this happen. So before we start, I'm just going to give you a very quick rundown of how the evening is going to go. We're going to start off with two guest speakers that we have sitting in the back of the room here. They're going to chat for a very short time. We're going to take advantage of a photo op if anybody would like to do that. We'll be able to take care of that after those speeches. Right after that, we will start the AGM proper. So the board of directors will share among themselves the various tasks of going through that business. And once that's done, I'll come back in my MC role and introduce myself as the so-called entertainment for the evening, and that isn't anywhere near as exciting as what you might think, but it could be fun. And that's I'll introduce you to my passion right now, which is alcohol ink painting, and I'll show you samples, and you'll even get a chance to see a demo and maybe try your hand at it. So without further ado, let's get going. I'd like to first talk about our first speaker, who is no stranger to all things government. Our speaker, a good deal of his young life. You take a look at him and you see he looks like a youth. He looks like a kid to me, but he's been around and working at the municipal level as a professional engineer for probably, almost 20 years now?
I began in 2002, that's when I first mentioned it.
Yes, there you go. So for a good long while, and also as a very successful and hardworking councillor for the town of Tecumseh for two terms. And now he's our local Tecumseh, or Windsor-Tecumseh MPP. So I'd like to welcome and introduce, I'm really happy that I can do that. I never thought that I would actually be doing that with Andrew Dowie, because I've known him for such a long time. But Andrew, come on up and let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Marian, and thank you to everyone here for welcoming me this evening. And I'm always excited to see the great things happening in our community. So Arts and Cultural Alliance, I can't tell you how much I'm happy to see the kinds of services that you provide. And so the Ontario Trillium Foundation receives a number of applications. I know Scott, who's representing them tonight, will speak more about that. But it takes a phenomenal program and a phenomenal application to get funding. And the fact that you were successful because you stood head and shoulders above the rest. And the quality of your programs, the quality of the services you provide the community are recognized. And so with the $18,600 that will be going to, I believe, the Sales Strings program and the facility, but basically your operations. Honestly, money very well spent because you're doing such phenomenal work for the community. Actually, I was just speaking about your funding earlier today about some people from out of town, actually some officials from some other MPPs, and I just was describing the Sales Strings program. They were just so delighted to hear that this is a local initiative. No one has really thought of it, and just the violins are such. How do I best describe it? It's such a dignified pastime, which and actually skill to have to be a good violin that will allow those that are in those less fortunate communities to really feel elevated, that they're contributing and offering something that's unexpected. And it certainly is undoubtedly making a difference in the lives of so many youth. And I'm so excited for the programming that the Alliance puts on for the benefit of the people of Windsor and Essex County. So thank you for all the work that you do. Just delighted to be here today to celebrate this with you. And I will cut it off there, but appreciate being here.
Thank you so much. All right, our next guest. So I'm going to just take a moment and say that when I learned that I would be introducing somebody called, never mind, I won't say his name yet, but he was the Ontario Trillium Foundation volunteer. I'm thinking, say what? What is that? What is a volunteer? Is that somebody that just put his hand up and said, yeah, I'll go to that meeting? No, it's not. It's a very amazing position, and it's not one that's taken lightly. It's not just a matter of putting your hand up and saying, yeah, I think I'd like to do that. the Ontario Trillium Foundation, and I'm sure that he'll be able to speak to it more, is one where someone does express an interest, but in order to be chosen or appointed, they have to be very knowledgeable about the areas of concern, the community that they would be representing. There are many communities throughout the province. They have a catchment area, and people are assigned to that area because they know the geographic boundaries, they know all of the things that are going on in that community, and so they're really able to serve them well. And what does he do? Well, and he'll talk probably, or maybe he can tell us, but from what I understand, as an individual, he gets to assess the actual grant application. So he's looking through that, and then as a team member, he gets to make recommendations for that one and others that may have come his way. And so that's why this guy's a friend, okay? So this is the kind of guy that's going to be looking out for our best interests as a community and for projects. I think that I can't wait for him to come up and tell us all about it. And so our second guest is very hardworking, very ethical. They have a really strict code of conduct and ethical procedures that they must follow. Obviously, you know, he's not taking payola here. This is an upstanding guy. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome and introduce to you Scott Doucette. Sorry.
Thanks, Marian. You've done a great job subbing in today. So kudos for that. But before I continue, I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Ottawa, Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee people. Each day we greet and honor the original inhabitants of the land. And my name is Scott Duquette, and I'm a member of the Ontario Trillium Foundation's grant review team for the Essex, Kent, and Lambton region. And yes, these are a position like mine, we do score grants. In my case, it's for grants that are sent in for our region of Essex, Kent, and Lambton. And it happens several times a year. We review them, and there's a process of scoring, and then we submit to Toronto, and everything is averaged out, and that determines who meets the grant threshold, the scoring, in order to get the funding. So I retired from elementary school teaching in 2019, and I want to give back to my community in some way. I really am a community advocate, and I thought, well, I'll volunteer for the Ontario Trillium Foundation, and it's a nice way to sort of like transition from my former profession and still be connected to the community, see what's going on out there. Today we're celebrating your grant, in particular, amount of $18,600 in the Community Building Fund operating stream grant that the Arts and Cultural Alliance of Windsor-Essex County received from the OTF. As an agency of the Government of Ontario, one of Canada's leading granting foundations, this year OTF is celebrating 40 years of grant making in Ontario. Since 1982, OTF has been working to build healthy and vibrant communities across Ontario. With an initial budget of $15 million in 1982, OTF has grown significantly and now invests over $100 million annually into communities and organizations just like yours. The OTF funding has supported the Arts and Cultural Alliance as they rebuilt and recovered from the challenges of the impacts of COVID-19. This has been achieved by rebuilding member and volunteer services and delivering community programs and events. Powered by the OTF grant, the Arts and Cultural Alliance has been able to host open houses, relaunch exciting events, including the Open Studio Tour, and create new branding, allowing for the organization to attract new participants to its events. Before I wrap up, I want to thank the Arts and Cultural Alliance of Windsor-Essex County for choosing to work with OTF and for giving us the opportunity to contribute to your important community work. Your continued dedication to creating exciting events and supporting arts and cultural workers is truly an inspiration and makes this a vital community initiative. And congratulations once again, and thank you for having me here tonight.
Hello, Bill knows. No, I was just kind of like taking to and we'll use some students. Yes.
Then I moved up to the county.
Hi, Gomez. Hi, everybody. Out of watercolor, you can't. Another thing that looks really colorful, and I can't wait, I just bought this in Leamington, was a little set to try out oil pastels because they look really bright colors too. And I thought, yeah.
Is that wood?
It is.
Did you prep that?
I did.
What'd you prep it?
This one was done, I prepped it with acrylic paint, and it worked really, really well. It was just amazing. And I love these now. I love the size. I see that a lot of artists now are doing, by moving the stuff around and others. It's fun. Yeah, and that's because I like that line work. I like that, it brings me back to my geography and maps and stuff like that. They're in a container. They're actually in a container that's, I think, three times the size or thereabouts. And depending on the boot, because it would be all over the place. And I tell them if they can to put the tops of that in a mask if I'm doing a paper. So which one did I paint? Yeah. Okay. So even without the benefit of glasses, I'm going to show you what I'm going to excitement. Oh, it's moving already. Check it out. Yeah. It's awesome. Even if you didn't have all of those colors, look how it's moving. It's just awesome. So some colors are thicker and more dense than others, where others are quite a bit lighter. And what they do once you put them on top of each other, so it's a mess of color. And I just want to show you something that's really cool. I love showing this to, like in a class when I give everybody a tile, go to town, make a mess, doesn't matter. When you're finished, we wipe it off and start over. And that's the beauty of being able to work on a tile, is it absolutely